What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports back again with another one. Just breaking news, man. It's a done deal. Errol Spence versus Shawn Showtime Porter is a done deal. They're waiting on the date. That's all they're waiting for, is trying to solidify the date. And I think what's probably holding them up from announcing the date is I think Deontay Wilder wants to fight. If he gets past Dominic Brazil, he wants to fight King Kong Ortiz in September, and that's going to be a pay-per-view fight on Showtime. So I think they originally wanted to schedule Errol Spence versus Shawn Porter in September, but if that's going to be a pay-per-view fight, also they're not going to put two pay-per-view fights on the same month. So that's what's I think holding up the the date getting finalized for the fight. But the fight is a done deal. Both fighters have agreed to terms, and it's a done deal as far as that goes. But they're just looking for a date. You know, you got Manny Pacquiao fighting Keith One-Time Thurman in July. That's a pay-per-view fight that's going to be on Fox. And then you got Deontay Wilder versus King Kong Ortiz. That's going to be a pay-per-view fight as early as that September. You know, so that's what's maybe that's why they're trying to find a date for the Spence fighter, because it's going to be in September. Maybe it's going to be on regular Fox instead of being on pay-per-view, Fox pay-per-view. So that's what they probably trying to figure out. You know, what the date is. That's what's probably holding up the getting the date finalized. The Deontay Wilder, you know, I think Deontay Wilder has told his team that he wants to fight 2 more times this year after the Brazil fight. So he probably wants to fight in September and then maybe fight again in December. So he wants 2 fights. You know, he kind of lost a lot of time that he could have had potential matchups. You know, in negotiations with Eddie Hearn last year. And he had a chance. You know, he probably missed a time frame where he could have had another fight in 2018. But he was negotiating with Eddie Hearn and them, and they were giving him the runaround basically. When they really wanted to fight at that time, and he wasted 4 months where he could have been having a match set up. He could have been fighting. So I don't think he wants to go through that again this year. So that's why he basically told Eddie Hearn 50-50 or no fight. He doesn't want to waste his time messing around with Eddie Hearn and his BS negotiations. So he wants to be active this year. So I think that's playing a part in them not actually having a date set up for Errol Spence versus Shawn Showtime Porter. So that's all, you know. So that's good news though. They're set. So we're gonna have 3 good matchups in the second half of 2019. Manny Pacquiao versus Keith Thurman in July 20th, Fox pay-per-view. We're going to have Shawn Showtime Porter versus Errol the True Spence, maybe in September, maybe October. We'll see. And then we're going to have Deontay Wilder in a rematch versus King Kong Ortiz. You know, maybe in September, or maybe they move that to October. One of them fights going to have to get moved back a little bit. You know, one of them going to get moved back, so it's going to come down to how El Heyman and in the PBC figure out those 2 fight dates, where they're going, which one's going to be in September and which one's going to be later on in the fall. So we'll see what happens. Another thing that we found out is Marcus Maidana. He's not coming back after all. You know, he was in training and everything, but he said he just didn't have that fire. He didn't have the hunger to continue and get back in the ring, so he's going to leave it alone, man. He tried to get back. He was slated to come back at 160 pounds, middleweight, in a first fight, a tune-up fight, and then maybe have 2 more after that before getting into a big name matchup. And but he decided, man, he just doesn't have the hunger, man. He made a lot of money in those 2 Floyd Mayweather fights. Both of the fights were on pay-per-view. He made good money. Made good money fighting Adrian Broner, and he made, you know, he's in a lot of big fights. He fought Amir Khan at 140 when both of those guys had belts. That was a unification matchup. He fought Devin Alexander. He fought a lot of guys, man. Victor Ortiz. He's been in a lot of fights, man. So I think he's got his money. He's got a lot of money still left in the, you know, and he's probably invested his money well too. So he just didn't have the hunger, man. So he's gonna call the temporary comeback. Call it short, man. He's not gonna come back. So that's what's going on with Marcus Maidana. But again, this is JB Boxing. My bad. Let me switch that up. JB Sports. But I talk about all sports, not just boxing. I talk NFL. I talk NBA. You might even hear me talk a little Major League Baseball when they get down toward the end of the season, the pennant chase and stuff like that. So this is JB Sports. The man, the myth, the legend. I holla.